Welcome to the theory class. This is going to be the test 5, and that covers lessons 21 through 25. So you'll hear all of the concepts starting from lesson 1 through lesson 25, but it really focuses on the last lessons 21 through 25. All right, so before we get started, I just want to give you a little snapshot of what you will be hearing on this test. There are 49 briefs, 5 names and spellings, 5 dates, 5 time figures, 29 sentences, and 1 paragraph. All right, so the paragraph is the one you're going to want to tab over one time, and then obviously it's a paragraph. All right, so make sure you use a header for each of these sections. The briefs, there's no phrases in this one, so it'll go straight from briefs to names and spellings. Then the next header should be dates. Then we have time figures, sentences, and paragraph. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. All right, let's start with briefs. Here we go. Ready? Number 1, someone. Someone called me on the phone. Number 2, opinion. Did you give your opinion about the race? Number 3, always. We always go for a walk in the evening. Number 4, without. I don't want to go without you. Number 5, Mrs. A married woman. Mrs. Jones is my neighbor. Number 6, mother. My mother is here. Number 7, anyone. Does anyone want to go? Number 8, everyone. Everyone went to the party. Number 9, general. Go to the general store. Number 10, immediate. We need immediate assistance. Number 11, doctor. The general noun. Let's go to the doctor, or go to the doctor. Number 12, their, possessive, their house sold in record time. Number 13, other. We have other plans. Number 14, ever. Did you ever hear back from them? Number 15, Ms. A divorced or widowed woman. Ms. Davis is now a widow. Ms. Okay, 16 is answer. Give me an answer. $17, yesterday. Yesterday was Thursday. 18, all right. It is all right to go. And don't forget, all right is always 2 words. Make a little note of that somewhere in your work area so you never forget that. 19 is nobody. Nobody wanted to go. 20, something. I have something to say. 21, rather. Rather than going, we decided to stay home. 22, affect. The verb. It will affect us. 23, accident. There was an accident on the highway. 24, there. The adverb. We stayed right there. 25, also. He is a swimmer and also a gymnast. 26, another. I have another load to do. 27, list. Where is the grocery list? 28, recommendation. That is a great recommendation. 29, every. Every flower began to bloom. 30, before. Let's go before it gets too hot. 31, anything. You can do anything that you set your mind to. 32, somebody. Somebody wanted to go with me. 33, minute. I need just a minute. 34, doctor. We're talking about the prefix for the name, as in Dr. Smith. Okay, 35, secretarial. She provides the secretarial duties. 36, from. Where are you from? 37, enough. He had had enough. 38, nothing. We have nothing left in common. 39, everybody. Everybody wanted to go. 40, sufficient. That is sufficient. 41, Mr. Mr. Smith is very nice. 42, neither. Neither one of us could go. "43, individual. He likes to do the individual sports." 44, anybody. Anybody can participate. 45, already. I already paid for the bill. 46, everything. Everything needs to be done. 47, almost. It is almost time to go. 48, effect, the noun. The effect of the storm was horrific. 49, because. We wanted to go because we felt like she needed the support. And that is the last of the briefs. We're going to move now into names and spellings. Okay, so I want to give you a couple of reminders. You're going to write the names phonetically. Just remember, if it's a one-stroke word or one syllable, you're going to want to flag it. And if it's more than one syllable or stroke, you don't have to flag it. You do want to make sure that you write a readable outline. And then I'm going to give you the spelling of the last name, which you're going to stitch. So just make sure when you're in the edit mode after the test, you go in and you have stitched the correct spelling. So, if I give you the word Kathy and it comes up with the K, but Kathy is stitched as C-A-T-H-Y, because, names nowadays are spelled every way you can think of. So you want to go in and make sure that that name matches the stitching, okay? As far as the stitching goes, the first letter is capitalized. All the letters after that are going to be lowercase, okay? And each letter is separated by a hyphen where you stitched. So don't delete the stitching. Some people like to do that. They'll keep the name and then delete the stitching. No, if I spell out a name, you're going to stitch it, and then you're going to fix it in the edit mode and make sure that the first letter is capitalized, the rest are lowercase. Okay? And if I give you any initials, make sure that you have a period after the initials. That's when you're in the edit mode again. So just know that you're writing things on your machine, but that doesn't always mean it's going to come out perfectly. Even though you have software, the software is not perfect. So you always have to proofread when you complete the test, and you go in and you clean it up, always. Even as a working reporter, you're always going to have to do that, okay? There's no software that is perfect out there that's going to make a perfect transcript. You always have to get used to going in and proofreading and editing, okay? Very important. Because you could write it perfectly on your machine, but if you don't go in and correctly edit it, that could cost you the test. Just always think of the test as two parts. First part is writing it correctly on your machine. Second part is going in and editing it and correcting any typos, whatever it may be, okay? All right, or anything maybe your software didn't catch or it's not entered in there correctly, you have to manually go in and fix it, okay? All right, so there's going to be 5 names. Okay, the first name is Philip. And again, if I don't stitch it, I'm going to give you the proper names at the end of the test. So I'm not going to give you the names of the proper names right now, okay? If I stitch it though, then that will not be given as part of the names in, at the end of the test, okay? Your list of names. All right, so here we go. Philip, N, as in Nancy. Let me make sure you get that. N. Babcock. So writing that phonetically, comma, B, A, B, C, O, C, K. All right. Now we're going to move on to the next name. And again, I'll give you the spelling for Philip in the word list after the test is over. But obviously I won't give you Babcock because I spelled that out for you. Okay, second name, Mr. Joe Sanchez, comma, S-A-N-C-H-E-Z, okay, moving on to the next name. Lynn Higby. Again, right now you're just writing it phonetically, comma, H-I-G-B-E-E. Okay. Moving on to the fourth name. Fourth name's going to start with some initials. MC Pathfinder, comma, Pathfinder. Now, when you go in the edit mode after the test is over and you're editing this name, whenever you have initials, you need a space after each initial. So it's M period space, C period space. Okay, so capital M period space, capital C period space, and then Pathfinder. Okay. All right, last name, Mrs. Robert W. Coast, comma, C-O-A-S-T. All right, that concludes the names and spellings. Now you want to make sure that you number each name. Philip and Babcock, that's number 1. Then on the next line, number 2, Mr. Joe Sanchez with the spelling, the stitching at the end. Then line 3 will have Lynn Higby, comma, H-I-G-B-E-E. Line 4 will have MC Pathfinder with the spelling. Line 5 will have Mrs. Robert W. Coast with the spelling. Okay? All right, again, I will give you the names of those, the word list at the end of the test. Now we're going to move on to dates. You are going to have some ordinals and some not. And I do get a lot of questions about that. So I'm going to remind you that not every number is an ordinal. So just remember, an ordinal is first, second, third, fourth, as opposed to 1, 2, 3, 4. So if be spoken either way. Somebody may say, I was born on January 1st, or I was born on January 1. So if I say first, that's when you're going to use your E on your machine, 1E, to show that I said first. And then that's the way that you're going to transcribe it. But if I say January 1, you're just striking your 1, leaving out the E. So if you have an E there when you're in the transcription mode, then you're going to convert the E to whatever it is. If it's 3, it would be third. If it's a 4E, it would be fourth. Okay, so whatever that ordinal is. Okay. All right, so I'm going to enunciate if it is an ordinal so you know. 5 dates. Here we go. First date is January 31st. You can hear that ordinal, comma, 1985. Okay. Next date, October 23rd, comma, 2014. Okay. The next date, this is not an ordinal. December 14, comma, 2009. So that one is not an ordinal. Number 4, this next one is an ordinal. June 8th. So this is an ordinal. June 8th, comma, 1998. And the last one, number 5, is March 19. This is not an ordinal, comma, 2012. Okay, so you're definitely going to want to go back in the edit mode once the test is over. And if you have an E, you know you need to change that to an ordinal, depending on what number it is. Okay? All right. Let's look at our times now. Moving on to our time figures. You have 5 time figures. Times must have a :00. If it's not a specific minute, if I say 8 and I'm talking about a time figure, you're going to want to transcribe that as 8:00 because it's a time figure. Now, if I say 8:10, of course, that would be 8:10. Okay? If I say o'clock, you're writing on your machine the brief for that. KL final K. If I say AM, you're writing that A flag M. And then you're going in the edit mode after the test, and you're going to clean it up because, you know, chances are maybe your software didn't perfect it as far as transcribing it perfectly. So you're going to go over that and make sure everything looks perfect. O'clock needs to be lowercase. Make sure O, you excuse me, transcribe that as O apostrophe CLOCK, and that's lowercase. AM, PM is lowercase. If AM or PM comes at the end of a sentence, you don't put 2 periods. It's just, if I were to say be there at 8 a.m., it would be A period, M period, and that's it. No, you don't do another period for the end of the sentence. Okay, so let's go ahead and cover our time figures. The first time is 4:20. Okay. The second time figure is 12 o'clock. Third time figure is 8 a.m. Okay, number 4 is 10:19 a.m. And number 5 is 6:43 p.m. Okay. Moving on to sentences. And again, when you're in the edit mode, you want to have just one brief per line. Okay. You want to have one name and spelling per line, one date per line, one time figure per line, and the sentences, you want to have one sentence per line. The only one you want to have continuously running is the paragraph, which you just tab in one time and then go from there. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with our sentences. Number 1, will 3 jars of wax be enough? Interrog. Number 2, the doctor says Brad's cast, so that cast belongs to Brad, so you know that's a singular possessive. The doctor says Brad's cast will be taken off next Friday. Period. Okay, number 3. Can anyone do something about this mess? Interrog. Number 4. He feeds the giraffes every day. Now that's not we're not talking about any type of possessive there, okay? It's just saying he feeds the giraffes every day at 6:30 a.m. Now, every day is used as an adverb, so it's 2 words. That's another thing. You need to always look up anything you're not sure about. I've seen some students make the every day as 1 word. It's only 1 word when it's used as an adjective. And an example of that would be, she wears her everyday clothes to work. So in that case, every day would be used as an adjective modifying clothes. But most of the time, every day is used as an adverb, so it's 2 words. So you need to invest in a Merriam-Webster Collegiate Dictionary if you don't have one, and that way you can look up those, okay? And don't get used to doing that on your phone. You need to physically have one so you can get used to looking up things. You'll be taking that eventually to the state test with you, and that is what is used. They don't let you use phones. Okay. All right. So he feeds the giraffes every day at 6:30 a.m. Period. Okay. Number 5. Fred said, And again, I'm going to give you the word list after the test, so just write these proper names phonetically. Fred said he didn't have enough money. Period. Number 6. I met a prolific, again, you're writing that phonetically, and you're going to look that up in the dictionary for the spelling. It just means productive or creative. I met a prolific writer at a stop sign. Writer, meaning somebody who writes stories. I met a prolific writer at a stop sign. Period. Okay, number 7. Where do you live, comma, doctor? Now you can replace that with your name so you know they're using that as a direct address. Where do you live, Sandra? Where do you live, Carl? Okay, so you need to add a comma right before that because it's used as a direct address. Where do you live, doctor? Interrog. Okay, number 8. Why hasn't that ever occurred to you before? Interrog. Okay, number 9. Peg's arrival time, so it's her arrival time, so we're talking about singular possessive. Peg's arrival time is set for 8 o'clock. Period. Number 10. The librarian will need help with some secretarial chores. Period. Number 11. Is Dr. Ward, comma, WARDE, comma, an honest doctor? Interrog. Number 12. Did anybody know that everybody was expecting someone to entertain everyone in Iraq? Number 13. Both of us were ill. Period. Number 14. I have nobody to suggest. Period. Number 15. Can you recommend a new dentist? Interrog. Number 16. The hairstylist shapes the hair to accent your best features. Period. Now, that's another thing I want to bring up to you. Make sure you look up all compound words, okay? Like hairstylist. Some are one word, some are two. You never know until you look it up. So don't assume. Look it up in your Merriam-Webster's Collegiate Dictionary, okay? You don't want to have an error just because you didn't look up something, okay? All right, number 17. Ms. Card, comma, CARD, comma, doesn't remember anything about it. Period. Number 18. He is a man of great wealth and good health. Period. Number 19. The general plan must be in effect by the end of next month. Period. Number 20. We ask that you answer either yes or no. Period. 21. In the quest for truth, comma, both sides will try to prove their case. Period. 22. This will acknowledge your letter of August 28th, which is an ordinal. So I said it's a 28th, to Dr. Archer, comma, ARCHER, period. 23. We need an immediate answer from the Secretary of State. Period. 24. Are you sure everybody read the memo? And a rog. 25. It is believed that there was another passenger. Period. 26. Everybody was willing to help. Period. 27. I just had a call from Miss Ritter. So I said Miss, not Mrs., Miss Ritter, comma, Ritter, period. 28. Mr. Brown's speech. So that's the speech that belongs to Mr. Brown. So that's singular possessive. Will cover the whole gamut. Again, I want you to look that up. It means an entire range or series of something. So we'll cover the whole gamut of prospective uses for the saw, meaning like a saw that you cut wood with. And I say prospective, so I'm talking about the adjective. Means effective in the future or what's expected. So don't get that mixed up with perspective. That's a noun, to see clearly. Okay, so Mr. Brown's speech will cover the whole gamut of prospective uses for the saw that you cut wood with, period. Okay, last sentence. Can anybody join the union interrog? Okay, we're almost done. We've got the paragraph left to do. And then I'll give you your word list. Okay, so here we go with the paragraph. Once you have completed theory and are in the speed program, comma, you must not forget the importance of having clean notes, period. As You work on building speed, comma, you must also strive for accuracy, period. You should attend a trail, like you're walking on a trail, class every day to enforce good writing habits, period. You should work on having the fewest number of finger errors possible, period. Always remember, comma, speed comes with accuracy, period. Now, before we get into the word list, I just want to explain what a trail class is. When the sentence was, you should attend a trail class every day to enforce good writing habits. So once you get into speeds, you will have your official speed that you will be in, and then you'll have what we call a trail class, and that is a class that is slower than the actual speed you're in. So let's say you're writing at 100 words per minute. Your trail class would be considered 80 words per minute or 60 words a minute. It's anything that's slower than the actual speed that you're actually writing. So we encourage you to always attend a trail class, because that is where you're going to work on your accuracy, work on writing perfectly, real time, and all of that. So it's very important that you have a trail class as opposed to your official class. Your official class is different because you will be, it's a challenge. You're trying to keep up with that speed. You're trying to maintain that speed. You're trying to accomplish that speed. So that's why it's important to have a trail class. And that's going to be anything that's slower. You don't want to go too slow, but you want to go at least 20 words slower than what your actual writing speed is. And the same with your, what we call push speed. Push speed is something that you do to push your speed. So if you're in 100 words per minute, your push would be considered 120 words per minute. And again, we don't want you to go any further than that, because we don't want you to get sloppy notes or you don't want to go too high. So maybe at 140, that would be okay. And I'll talk about all of this more when we get toward the end of Theory 2. But if like, let's say you're in the 100 class, your push could either be 120, maybe 140. I would not go any further than 140. But your trail class would be something slower, which would be about 80, maybe 60. So that's what we mean by your trail class in this paragraph, because I get that a lot. Students will ask, well, what's a trail class? So let's give you a word list, okay? All right, so here are the proper nouns. You're going to have, with the names and spellings, there's going to be Philip, capital Philip. You're going to hear Joe, capital Joe. We've got Lynn, capital Lynn, 2 N's there. Make sure you write these down, even if you think you know how to spell them. You never know when somebody's going to have an odd spelling of a name, like Lynn, Lynn. Robert, capital Robert. I'm not going to give you the ones that I stitched because you have the stitching there. You're going to hear Brad, let's see, Brad, capital Brad. Now, I'm not going to tell you if it was possessive, because you'll know that you should know that in your notes by the way that the sentence is given, and by, if you've got your AEZ. Fred, capital Fred. Peg, capital Peg. Let's see, Ward, capital Warde. Now I gave you Dr. Ward, but when you see doctor, you should know that that's going to be a capital D, lowercase r, period. Actually, Ward, I did spell that out, so you just got a freebie. I did spell that out for you, so make sure that that's spelled correctly. Look up your compound words like hairstylist. See if those are 1 or 2 words. Let's see. Oh, Secretary of State. You're going to capitalize S on secretary, capital SECRETARY. Of is lowercase, capital S on state, capital STATE. Mr. Brown. Brown is capital BROWN. Now again, it could be a possessive, but you'll know that when you read your notes. Theory is capitalized, capital THEORY. That's it for the word list. The grading rubric. So if you miss 0 to 3, that's an A. If you miss 4 to 6, that's a B. If you miss 7 to 10, that's a C. So again, make sure you proofread when you're transcribing, even when you're done and you think you have it, a perfect outline. Go back again. It never hurts to go back 2, 3 times just to look it over and catch any possible errors, like maybe missed words, or maybe you've doubled up a word. I see that a lot where it'll say, I went to the store. For some reason, to got in there twice. Maybe you accidentally hit it twice, or is the cat nice? I see that a lot. Sometimes students will accidentally hit the key twice. So read your notes so you can proofread and clean it up and make it perfect. That's just as important as writing the test on your machine. Okay? All right. And that's it for test 5. So good luck, and we will see you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.